This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. It is the great safety net, Social Security. Many seniors depend on it after they leave the workforce. It is also a hard-to-navigate bureaucracy, and now seniors better be tech-savvy to navigate it. The Social Security Administration is encouraging recipients to go online to manage their benefits. While the interface is meant to simplify the collection of benefits, it can be problematic for those who have problems with all things internet and the online sharing of sensitive information. We'll have more on what you need to know to navigate Social Security online, but first, let's get to our top 7 headlines at 7. We all love Sarasota, but fill in the blank. A new survey of Sarasota residents is out. USF's Susan McManus presented the results to Sarasota's County Commission today. It was a random sample of 800 residents. Traffic is considered the biggest threat to the county's economy, and it's priority number 1 when it comes to the county's budget. The most important issue facing the county, population growth. As for what people want, good paying jobs, public safety, and growth management.
A lot of population growth in this area, and there have been a lot of economic changes, and when you have those kinds of changes, you really want to take a look and see if opinions have shifted.
The County Commission says it will take the survey into account in the decision-making process. To see the full survey results, just visit mysuncoast.com. A major setback tonight for nearly a $500,000 project to beautify downtown Sarasota. Sarasota's Downtown Improvement District put up around 130 flower baskets on light poles throughout the city earlier this summer. But someone has been ripping flowers from the baskets, causing hundreds of dollars in damage. Not cool. The project cost $431,000. As the number of vacation rentals rises on Bradenton Beach, some residents are asking for restrictions. In some places, rentals outnumber permanent residences. That led the city to put a quality of life ordinance into effect last year, limiting the number of people allowed in each rental. But Bradenton's police chief says the ordinance is proving difficult to enforce.
I think we need to get a handle on this, knowing that it is going to get worse. It's
still nice. It still has its quaintness, but if we let it continue, then we're going to lose our small town.
The Planning and Zoning Department in Bradenton Beach is working on new proposals for the City Commission to deal with the problem. A Bradenton family is homeless tonight after raw sewage flooded their home. Not only is the home now contaminated, but there are tens of thousands of dollars in damages to the family's belongings, which now sit outside on the sidewalk. About a week ago, raw sewage started shooting out of the bathtub and toilet, flooding all of the rooms in the house.
It's a nightmare, absolute nightmare. Everything you have for 17, 20 years since I was a kid, totally ruined, gone, lost. It's sad, absolutely pathetic.
It's completely frustrating. I've cried so much, I don't know if I can cry anymore. It hurts my heart, and it hurts my heart that my children have to go through this.
The home is next to a lift station, but the city says it is not at fault. Rather, floodwaters are most likely the cause. A former Manatee High football coach is suing the county school board for alleged libel and slander. Joe Kinnan and his wife filed suit today against the school board and former superintendent Rick Mills. The Manatee County School Board has released a statement saying, quote, "The school district is aware that an action was filed, but the school district has not yet been served. The legal pleadings will be analyzed for further action to be taken on behalf and in defense of the school district." Now to a reoccurring problem of leaking water at the Venice Police Department that is becoming an inconvenience for officers. Tarps are now being set up in the evidence room and storage closets after the problem was made worse by last week's rain. So far, $8,000 has been spent finding and plugging leaks where repairs can be made. The city of Venice would prefer the department move out of the building.
This is basically a result of neglect over the years of not maintaining the roof. this is the roof that's been on the building since it was constructed, what, 26 years ago, I believe.
Sensitive materials have been moved out of the evidence room. The chief says nothing so far has been damaged. Hermine left streets flooded and trees down, but wildlife officials say there were other victims of the storm. Wildlife Inc. is now caring for more than 100 animals taken in after the storm. Many of them are being treated at the Wildlife Education and Rehabilitation Center in Bradenton Beach. A range of animals are in their care, including squirrels, raccoons, and even a bald eagle.
As soon as the wind started picking up and the rain, our calls started coming in. I think we had 127 different things that came in during the storm. Over 50 baby squirrels, we had 11 baby raccoons, 10 baby possums. We do have an eagle that just came in yesterday that very likely was a victim of the storm and has a head injury.
More animals are expected to come in over the next few days. Anyone interested in volunteering is asked to contact Wildlife Inc. Bob, that's just terrible.
Yeah, pretty big storm. I mean, you think about it, it was mainly offshore, but the strongest winds here up to 55 miles an hour at one point, gusting throughout the area. That does cause trees to be knocked down at times and power outages as well. We saw that with Hermine. Nothing out there right now. The good thing is that the tropics are fairly quiet considering we are getting close to the peak day of hurricane season, which is in just a few days, September 10th. Now, as far as the latest goes, water vapor content really has been pretty dry as of late. You can see as I put this map into motion, the dry air is around, in fact, and we'll go back to that and show you that dry air that has been around. It's been kind of moving back northward a little bit, but not much. A little bit more moisture east of Florida, which will move in over the upcoming days. As far as rainfall goes, we had some bigger storms, but those are now shifting off into the Gulf, and not much behind it now. Things are fairly quiet there as a result of the dry air that has slipped in. Titan radar picture not depicting any rainfall over land, and the temperature 85 degrees with a few debris clouds left around. The dew point 73 and the humidity 67%. We have calm conditions out there as far as the winds go today, and the pressure 30.09. That's high, and it's holding steady right now. We'll keep just a 20% chance for an isolated shower up until about 9 o'clock. Otherwise, temperature staying pretty warm through the evening, 79 degrees. The temperature expected to be at around 11 o'clock. Well, in the tropics, we were watching this area for the possibility of development, but the winds are just too strong here. You can see some of these clouds racing off to the northeast. That's some strong upper-level winds. This is basically now just a line of low pressure or a tropical wave. It does bring heavy rainfall today into eastern Cuba and also over the central Bahamas. This moisture is all kind of headed in our direction over the upcoming days, so that will increase the potential, at least, for some heavier showers and storms around as we approach the weekend. And as the ground is saturated, Alan, with a heavy rainfall we saw last week, any kind of additional rain and a heavy amount could cause some flooding problems.
Just look at my backyard.
Yeah, I'm sure, all of them.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, getting your Social Security benefits can already be a complicated process, but is a shift towards online platforms causing more problems? That story when we come back.
What does it mean when New South Window says Factory Direct?
It means we have a factory.
It means we eliminate the middleman.
It means you get an award-winning, energy-efficient window at factory direct pricing.
Plus, New South windows are made in Florida.
Ford Florida Home.
By Florida workers.
Because we know Florida weather.
Bring your measurements this Saturday from 9 to 4 to get huge discounts. New South Window. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. Call now.
Just because someone grows older, does that mean they have to grow apart from their friends or from the things they love to do? With Right at Home, it doesn't. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to help with personal care, housekeeping, meals, and most of all, staying engaged in life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I sure am.
We can provide the right care right at home.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKZ for only $299 per month, or a 2016 Lincoln MKX, Lincoln's premium sports utility vehicle, for $339 per month. We also have a great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. Drive with the confidence of a 6-year, 100,000-mile comprehensive warranty and complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, family owned and operated, and winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
A message from the Pulaski Law Firm. For decades, many Americans working in the trades were exposed to environmental hazards without their knowledge. While the dangers of one such airborne threat, asbestos, have long been known, efforts were made to hide the risks from the public. The result? Thousands of cases of asbestos-induced mesothelioma. Those in the trades may have been harmed by hundreds of companies who produced asbestos-laden products. The U.S. Bankruptcy Court has established asbestos trusts with $30 billion in initial funding. You may be entitled to financial compensation without ever going to court. If you or someone you know has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, get the best care available. Then call us.
Call 800-279-1837.
For nearly 2 decades, we've been fighting for those harmed by asbestos. Act now. Call for a free consultation and see how we can help. Mesothelioma. Don't fight it alone.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
It is a mammoth and sometimes hard to navigate bureaucracy, Social Security. Now the government wants folks to access Social Security online. The intent is to make it easier to use, but Rick Adams joins us with concerns for some folks who say the reality is just the opposite. Rick.
Yeah, Alan, that's right. A new technology system rolled out just a few weeks ago. Officials say there has been a big misunderstanding with the system. The stories continue to mount of people having problems with the nation's Social Security system, like Ronald Babcock. Babcock is a Lakewood Ranch resident and a Vietnam veteran who says he has many diseases associated with Agent Orange, including diabetes and cancer. He tells us he's had many problems getting anywhere with Social Security and the VA, where his claims are continually denied.
They sent us off to fight and made promises. We came back. We became sick, and they're not honoring the promise.
Babcock says his main gripe with the Social Security system is that the benefits he and other veterans receive aren't enough to live on.
Social Security seems to push you into a situation where you're not allowed to make extra money, or you lose some of the benefits until you reach a certain age. Now, why they do that, I don't know.
And another big concern for senior citizens is the fear that the information they're putting into their computers will get in the hands of the wrong people. That identity theft threat is one of the many issues that keeps government benefits consultant Jerry Zivick fighting for the rights of people receiving Social Security benefits. He says Social Security is now pushing folks to use their online services, which makes it difficult because millions of people either don't have a computer or don't know how to use one.
While they're pushing people to use online services, they say, well, if you can't use that, you can go to a district office. But they've had so many budget cuts that district offices are now only open for 31 hours a week.
A new dual authentication system was recently rolled out by the Social Security Administration. Under the system, once an account is accessed, it automatically sends a text message to the cell phone of the benefit recipient for further authentication. Social Security officials tell us although it's now not mandatory, it's encouraged.
This is actually a second layer of security, and we offer that to comply with the President's executive order on improving the security of consumer financial transactions.
Zivick says a big concern with the dual authentication system goes back to the age of many people collecting Social Security benefits.
I would like Social Security to become more user-friendly, especially you have people 65 and older, so not everybody is really tech-savvy. What they should do is they should spend more money having longer office hours, not shorter office hours, better trained people.
As for Babcock, he has this message for the Social Security Administration and the VA.
Let's keep the promise. Make it happen. Take care of the veterans. Don't just talk about it, do it.
And for more information on any Social Security issues that you may encounter, you can log on to our website at mysuncoast.com. Alan.
Rick, thank you. And when we come back, we'll have more from our roundtable.
On Saturday, September 10th, thousands will walk together at Nathan Benderson Park for the 2016 Suncoast Heart Walk. I'm Scott Dennis, ABC7. Join us for an inspiring, fun-filled day as we raise funds, celebrate survivors, and honor loved ones lost. The Suncoast Heart Walk is the American Heart Association's premier event to fight cardiovascular diseases. The 2016 Suncoast Heart Walk, September 10th. And for more information, visit suncoastheartwalk.org and take the first steps towards living a heart-healthy life.
At SWC Properties, we pride ourselves in providing to you the very best in customer satisfaction, and the secret's getting out. Maybe that's why so many people have chosen to list their homes with our friendly and qualified agents. After all, it only makes sense to list with a growing agency that markets in so many places. To list your home with SWC, give us a call at our Bradenton office and ask for Matthew Rands.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
Joining us for more on Social Security and the shift to accessing benefits online is Social Security benefits expert Jerry Zivic, Terry McGannon, Director of Program Development for Sarasota's Friendship Center, and financial advisor Charles Ackire. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. And Jerry, first, when did Social Security start moving to putting their benefits online?
Well, first, I want to congratulate you on getting your show extended to an hour.
That was just for you, Jerry, so we could have more time to talk.
And I'll use that time, too. And also, I want to compliment the roundtable tonight. I think the roundtable tonight will bring a really unique perspective from every guest. In answer to your question, when Social Security started this, maybe in the mid-2000s, as a result of budget cuts, where they were trying to look for ways to save money, not let people go, and use technology to benefit, supposedly, the taxpayers.
And at the same time, were they closing offices or reducing the hours at these offices?
They've closed over 500 mobile offices. They've closed 51 district offices. And now you can only access a district office for 31 hours a week.
You know, Charles, what have you seen in terms of seniors having more often difficulty in terms of now having to go online to do all this?
Well, it's a particular problem. The older the person is, the more problem they seem to have. This program and the changes to it, Jerry and I were talking, and I believe it was developed by people in their 40s, not really thinking about people in their 80s and 90s. And so many people that I work with don't even own computers. And now you need to have a cell phone that they can text to. On the Gulf Coast of Florida, we have so many people who moved here years ago. Their family's distant, children are distant, and if they don't have someone that they can rely on to help them with this, they're stuck. And as a result of that, a lot doesn't get done.
So if you have the means, people can hire you,
Absolutely.
or Jerry, you, but what about the people in the middle who may not have the extra money to be able to hire somebody to help them navigate the system?
And that's really where the Friendship Center can help out, because we have the classes and the technology for really the gamut. A lot of times what we see are older people who have been given tablets and cell phones from their kids and literally just giving and saying, you'll figure it out.
I'm thinking about that TV commercial where the kids come to visit the grandparents and the grandmother's there with all the high-tech equipment, says none of this works.
Exactly.
I would imagine that some seniors, once they take these classes, get right with it and are prodigious, let's say, at using the internet and online tools, and some just don't.
Using electronics is a different way of thinking, and a lot of seniors just haven't ever gone through that process. So we recently just had a tablet class, and we designed it so that we had a lot of upfront work with it so that you could work on it every day. And what you found was they climbed the learning curve very quickly, and then they did take to it. But it does take time, and there's a lot of patience involved in it, which is what we see with families where either they're not around or when they're around, they do the typical thing a kid does, is they just take the phone or the tablet or the computer and they just type in the correctness and they say, here you go, you're all set.
Jerry, what kind of problems are people having in terms of manipulating the online tools, and what kind of impact is it having on their personal finances?
Well, there's a couple issues. When they brought out what they're referring to as dual authentication, the first day that people tried to access their accounts, they would type in their username, their password, and then they would get the text sent to their phone. However, Verizon didn't recognize those texts. They said it was spam. So people are sitting there looking at their phones. Where's my text? Where's my text? And it wouldn't even go through. So that's one of the issues. I mean, what you have is a situation, too, where 50 million Americans have had some of their data, sensitive data, hacked at some point. It's probably substantially more. So you have a situation where it's how do you protect your online presence with Social Security? Benefits are being hijacked all the time.
Right, and I want to get to that issue in just a few minutes, but first our roundtable will continue in a moment, but when we come back we'll have a check on our weather.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to save a life? Find out by donating platelets at Suncoast Blood Bank.
I'm Haley Wilgus, ABC7. Platelets aid in the clotting process and are vital in the treatment of cancer and surgical patients, trauma victims, and critically ill newborns. It's tough to keep enough on the shelves because they only last 5 days. To donate, call this number or visit scbb.org and you can help save a life.
ABC7 congratulates Suncoast Blood Bank on 65 years of serving our community.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
US Med has great news for anyone living with diabetes.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, US Med will ship a new glucose meter right to your home.
And shipping is free.
My new meter uses only a speck of blood, so it's less painful than my previous meter.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, you're covered with US Med. We're welcoming new patients, even if your current provider can't supply you anymore.
I don't even have to test on my fingers anymore. I can test on my hand or forearms, and it's more accurate than my old meter.
So call US Med today, and you'll have a choice of 2 great meters.
One that actually speaks your results, or a meter so small it fits in the bottle of strips.
Act now, and US Med will include a free prescription discount card. We'll also send you a free diabetes cookbook. This is your opportunity.
So call US Med today.
You'll be glad you did.
Our roundtable discussion continues in a moment, but right now let's get a check on our Suncoast weather from ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan, and a pretty nice evening here across the Suncoast. We had some showers around earlier. You'll see the lens here from the Van Wezel webcam. Going to moisten up there a little bit, a few raindrops. So they pushed off pretty quickly into the Gulf, and then The skies are starting to clear, making for a nice sunset this evening. And this was a shot of those showers out over in the Gulf of Mexico from Siesta Key. Maryland sending this in to Pix, P-I-X, at mysuncoast.com. Nice shot there. Some showers progressing toward the west. Notice the radar picture not showing anything going on right now. All is fairly quiet around town, and that's a result of some drier air that has moved into the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. And you got to look at the wide perspective here. We have a high pressure ridge situated over the southeast right here. And with this high pressure situated right there, we're going to see this east to southeasterly wind flow tomorrow around this high pressure. And that means a little bit more moisture content in the atmosphere. That means the storms that do develop will be a little stronger and make a little bit more rain around town. We had a half-inch estimate from the Doppler radar site at Northport and Port Charlotte, just about the same. Less than that near Venice, 2/2 of an inch, actually 2/10 of an inch. And you can see currently at the airport it's 85 degrees. We're under generally fair skies. Now there's some high-level debris cloud left over from some of the storms that pushed through. The humidity now at 67%, and the pressure is fairly high. It's falling slightly at this hour. 93, the high temperature today. That's well above the average of 89. Our record high, though, 98, was not in danger of being broke or set. That was back in 1970. 1/100th of an inch of rainfall at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport. That pushes our monthly total up over 3/500ths of an inch above average. And for the year now, we're just over an inch or so above average across the area as a result of the heavy rain we saw last week. 84 degrees in Jacksonville, the same in Orlando and Miami, a bit cooler in Key West at 82, and Tallahassee now at 89 degrees. Around town, temperatures pretty comfortable into the upper 70s to low 80s. Inland areas, Wauchula now at 81 degrees. Bradenton, you're at 85. The same at Sarasota, and a bit cooler now at Venice at 81 degrees. Well, Thursday's forecast looks pretty good. We'll see sunshine to start the day off, a few clouds gathering in the afternoon. Now, there's a slight chance for a few early afternoon showers, but better chances come late in the day at the 40% chance, and a little bit more widespread rainfall, I do believe, as a result, again, of some more moisture moving on in. Well, we almost had the 6th tropical storm ever to hit Arizona, but it got downgraded just before it moved in. It's now just a tropical depression. As it moves in, it's bringing lots of rain to Arizona. And then out to us, to the east of us, so we're seeing this line of low pressure. Really not much showing as far as development goes in the tropics. The shear is just too strong here. But what it will do, it will add some rainfall to our forecast. And way out there in the Atlantic, there's another storm brewing. It could be Ian before long. As it heads off to the west, northwest, it doesn't appear it's going to have any impact on land. For boaters, tomorrow looks good. Seas running less than 2 feet for the most part, a light chop in the bays and inland waters. And as far as the extended forecast goes, there it is, increasing chances for rain, showers, and storms running in through the weekend. We'll have much more coming up in just a few minutes.
At ABC7, it's all about being here for you. ABC7 News at 7 with award-winning investigative journalist Alan Cohn. In-depth reporting and debate on important issues and stories in our community, with a featured topic of the day and a live roundtable discussion with community leaders and newsmakers, plus a quick recap of the day's top stories and weather. ABC7 News at 7 weeknights. Now more than ever, we're here for you, Suncoast.
On Saturday, September 10th, thousands will walk together at Nathan Benderson Park for the 2016 Suncoast Heart Walk. I'm Scott Dennis, ABC7. Join us for an inspiring, fun-filled day as we raise funds, celebrate survivors, and honor loved ones lost. The Suncoast Heart Walk is the American Heart Association's premier event to fight cardiovascular diseases. The 2016 Suncoast Heart Walk, September 10th. And for more information, visit suncoastheartwalk.org and take the first steps towards living a heart-healthy life.
At SWC Properties, we pride ourselves in providing to you the very best in customer satisfaction, and the secret's getting out. Maybe that's why so many people have chosen to list their homes with our friendly and qualified agents. After all, it only makes sense to list with a growing agency that markets in so many places. To list your home with SWC, give us a call at our Bradenton office and ask for Eric Schrock.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess?
You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're discussing the shift of Social Security to online platforms, and we're joined by Social Security benefits expert Jerry Zivick, Terry McGannon, the Director of Program Development for Sarasota's Friendship Center, and financial advisor Charles Ackheyer. I am wondering if part of what Social Security was thinking is that older Americans may now have a tough time using the online services, but they're banking on the fact that as people grow older, they will already know online and be more comfortable with that. Jerry?
I'd like to think that that's a possibility, but I'd be a little bit skeptical on that. I think this was more budget-driven originally than anything else. They wanted to find a way to save money on their budget, so they went to computers and technology, and they didn't use people. I don't think that there was this big thought that another generation will be more tech-savvy. And because this whole problem about online accounts being hacked or hijacked was not predicted back then.
Right, and I want to get to that in just one moment, but boy, we've had some recent experience with government-designed websites. We're talking about the rollout of Obamacare. That's not always the most easiest things to use. And is that part of the problem that that the Social Security website in particular, is it, as it goes, is it easy to use, or is it part of the problem?
From what I can see and from what my clients have seen, if you have the computer knowledge, again, it's fairly easy to work through. However, if you don't work with it every day, if you don't have an opportunity to go to the Senior Friendship Center, you've got problems. You've got real problems with it, and people just throw up their hands and turn off the computer, and things don't get done. Changes aren't made that should be, that could mean thousands of dollars for Social Security beneficiaries as years go by, and nobody ever catches these things.
Jerry, I think you were trying to jump in there.
Well, I agree. I think people throw up their hands a lot of times with computer technology. You can overthink this. You have to have a certain thought process to approach the questions. In my own life, I actually applied for Medicare, but I wouldn't do it online. I went to the office. And going through those questions at the district office, I know I would have overthought some of those questions, and I would have had to throw up my hands.
Terry, are you seeing some people come into to the center and basically throw up their hands, or are they desperate? And are you able to help get them through these problems?
Well, first, to go back to your point, I think by happy coincidence, we are seeing a new generation of people coming in that are more tech savvy. That being said, the short answer to your question is yes. People are coming in, they're very frustrated, and they tend to err on the side of, all right, I didn't get it, so I'm just going to leave it alone. And so as a result, you really have to work with them. So part of our setup is to give them that constant availability to somebody, whether it's me or another person who's working there, to be able to sit down with them and walk them through the issues. I had one gentleman who had an eBay account, and he had a really small technical issue that his picture wasn't coming up correctly. So I worked with him for all 10 minutes. It was very simple, and he thought I was Bill Gates, which I'm not. But so yes, that is a big issue, and the big issue that Jerry brought up before about security is huge.
Right, and I want to get to that right now because obviously we're all concerned about hackers. We hear about it every single day. We hear about the Russians hacking into the Democratic National Committee. We hear about people hacking into large retailers like Target and all those companies, and that security information being compromised. So everyone is concerned that their personal information is subject to being stolen online, and I would imagine that older Americans are, the kinds of people who would go to the banks to make their deposits, who don't like paying bills online, want to still send out the checks. Those people are going to, more than most others, be resistant to putting their personal information online.
Absolutely.
And well, they should be in some cases.
Right.
You've got to be careful with it. Before I came up, after you called me, I went online and just typed in on the Google search problems with Social Security. And the first 2 pages had to do with phishing and scams, and something as simple as adding an extra / and a different extension could route you to a different area.
That brings up a very important issue, because more and more I'm seeing, both in my work email and my personal email, I'm getting notifications from my bank or banks that I don't do business with, or Social Security or the IRS. And we all know Social Security and the IRS does not contact you by emails. And I would imagine, Jerry, is that confusing a lot of people?
Well, what people have to realize, and I'm sure Terry sees this, is that not every email needs to be opened. Yeah. And an older person has a hard time recognizing what's important and what's not important. But I was sitting here thinking, and this was all driven, I think we can all agree, by trying to save money, that the Social Security is going online. So, but has anybody looked or is able to find out how much money has actually been spent trying to prevent these systems from being hacked? It very well might be cheaper to go in a completely different direction. I don't know. I'm sure we're spending millions of dollars doing that. And benefits are being hijacked. Disability benefits are being hijacked. Retirement benefits are being hijacked in the millions of dollars every year. Well, look what happened with the IRS. They forced everybody, or try to force everybody, to go online to file. How many hundreds of millions of dollars are being lost? So is this, we have to look at this from a business standpoint too. Is this really as cost effective as they would want us to think it is?
Well, are you aware of whether Congress is aware of this problem and is doing anything about it?
100% they're aware of it. I've seen reports, staggering reports, as to that's where I'm coming up with this, millions of dollars that are being hijacked. And most of these reports are several years old, because there's a delay. And I'm sure it's substantially higher than that. So what's Congress doing? I imagine the usual.
Which is not much these days.
You said it.
I would imagine that people are home tonight watching this and we're not doing anything to make them feel more comfortable about doing this stuff online.
When we had our most recent tablet class, one of the classes were on setting up a Facebook account. And 90% of the participants in this class would not do it. Older people, as Charles pointed out, are using the computer really to stay in touch. However, that being said, I think I would be more comfortable with the safeguards on Google and Facebook than I would maybe on Social Security. I just think it's less of a target.
I mean, does that go this, is that the same thing with dealing with the IRS or dealing with healthcare.gov, the Obamacare website? I mean, is it all the same in terms of problems and or fears about online security?
I think anything online is suspect of being stolen right now, and people don't really understand it, especially the younger generation coming up. It's all good.
But we're not going to go back to the days of going down to the Social Security.
No.
So there does not seem to be any alternative but to figure this out.
We're going to have to soldier through and help as many people as we can and guide people to places like the Senior Friendship Center and make it known that there's help out there. But so many people just don't. We have so many thousand people in Sarasota County alone who are elderly and live alone And they're having these problems, and some of them aren't even aware they're having the problems.
All right. Gentlemen, stand by. When we return, we'll have a final look at our full weather forecast.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Hurricane season is here. Are you prepared? ABC7 has the information you need. Access our special Surviving a Hurricane now. Learn how to prepare a readiness plan and survival kit. Know your evacuation route. Be prepared, Suncoast, when severe weather threatens. Access our special on our ABC7 app and all our live streaming platforms.
Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku.
Attention breast cancer survivors. If you experience permanent hair loss or baldness after chemotherapy, you may qualify for a cash award. Thousands of women suffering breast cancer were given a chemotherapy drug without being warned about the possibility of irreversible alopecia. If you or a loved one suffered permanent hair loss after chemotherapy, call 888-622-8732. Time to file a claim is limited. 888-622-8732. That's 888-622-8732.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WindGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WindGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
The official salon of ABC7. Loose Salon.
Our roundtable discussion continues in a moment, but right now let's get a check on our forecast from on the weather from ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. I'll tell you what, a beautiful day today, then a few showers this afternoon. Anna Maria webcam showing Bimini Bay, and this is the north end of Anna Maria. And last week it saw over 11 inches of rainfall. Today, not that much. As a result of some dry air that's moved in, nice sunset tonight. And a picture sent in earlier, this one from Guy off of Longboat Key. Guy sending photos in quite frequently over the years, and appreciate this photo. You see a shower, a passing shower way out there in the Gulf of Mexico. The weather headlines read like this: tropics fairly quiet for this time of year. You think about it. Normally we start to see a few storms popping up here and there during the peak of hurricane season, which is fast approaching. It's the 10th of this month, and that's when we see the most storms around. More moisture moves in over the next 24 to 48 hours over the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere, and mainly afternoon storms are in the forecast all the way through this weekend. So we'll get back to that heavy activity with some lightning strikes and the possibility of some localized flooding rains, as we saw this past Sunday near Northport when a big downpour moved on in. As far as the Titan radar picture goes, things are fairly quiet now. We had a few brief showers around earlier, and the big picture again shows a large area of high pressure situated over the southeast. This high will stay in control right through the next 4 days. A weak frontal system will move down, it looks like, late Sunday. 85 degrees, and we have fair skies. Just some high-level clouds still lingering around. The dew point 73. Winds are calm and the pressure 30.09 inches, which is high, and it's holding steady for the most part. Well, this, about a week and a half ago, the forecast model, the GFS, was indicating that this could be a Category 3 or possibly even higher hurricane by this time. And you'll notice not much going on with it. Really, it's just a line of low pressure, and that's what I want to tell you is that these long-range models, you kind of look at them and say, okay, there's indications that something may be here, but don't make any plans on a long-range forecast model. A lot can happen, and what we have is a lot of shear going on from the southwest here, not allowing the system to really develop, but it will bring us increasing moisture, looks like right through Sunday and even into Monday. Well, out into the East Atlantic, we certainly do have a system out there that has a real good chance of developing into the next named storm, which will be Ian. Ian is the next name up there. The 9th named storm could be as early as 3-4 days from now. But right now, the next couple of days, the chances aren't all that high as a result of, again, some strong upper-level winds here kind of blowing the storms apart. But some fairly good convection here, and in a few days it will become more favorable for development. This red area is more than likely where it's going to traverse over the upcoming week, and so it looks like this one will be one for just water interest and no land impact there over the next 5 days. And as far as the peak of hurricane season goes, I mentioned it happens at September 10th each year. We see this number. This is the highest time for hurricanes to develop, at least in the Atlantic Basin. And then we drop off pretty sharply once we get to the end of September, early October. Then there's a little mini peak there into mid-October, early November. And this coast was hit back in 1944 by a fairly strong hurricane with winds over 100 miles an hour. And that was October 19th. In 1944. So we get some late storms here. We got to keep an eye out for that. Dry air has been around in place over the past couple of days, but notice that's thinning out a bit as this tropical moisture I talked about is getting closer to the Bahamas and eventually will feed in our general direction beginning Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And you can see that activity increasing in at least our area south of Interstate 4 for our immediate area. Now, as far as the boating forecast goes, looks like this, a light chop out there. Winds will start out of the east, turn to the northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and the water temperature now at 83 degrees. Tides upcoming, low tide the next one at 11:09. The high tide will be at 4:36 in the morning. Tonight, evening storms, partly cloudy, clearing late, and 75. Those evening storms are for the most part over. The activity mainly offshore. More coverage of storms tomorrow. Look for a high of 91, but it'll be late afternoon and evening, and the extended forecast calls for typical summer-like weather as we start to wrap up summer. Alan will be right back right after this.
Thanks to my volunteer, I am a better reader.
Thanks to my volunteer, math seems simple now.
Thanks to my volunteer, I discovered new career goals.
I'm a volunteer for Sarasota County Schools, so I know I can make a difference. And you can too. Give an hour, change a life.
Using baby powder or talc may lead to ovarian cancer. $72 million was awarded in a recent talc lawsuit after lawyers found secret internal documents showing that the baby powder manufacturer knew about the link between talcum powder and ovarian cancer for decades, but never told the public. If you were diagnosed with ovarian cancer after using talcum powder on a regular basis, you may qualify for a cash award. Call 800-793-6621. 800-793-6621.
Attention, this is an important message for anyone who had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to their heart or lungs. Did your IVC filter move, break, or cause organ damage? The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, even death. If you or a loved one suffered serious complications, call IVC Filter Helpline now. You may be entitled to compensation. IVC filters are designed to prevent blood clots. If your IVC filter moved or broke and you suffered heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, or if a loved one died as a result, call IVC Filter Helpline today. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You'll pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone. Call IVC Filter Helpline now.
Please call 800-897-6764. That is 800-897-6764.
Welcome back. We're discussing the changing landscape of Social Security with our roundtable, and it's time for final thoughts. Gentlemen, Jerry, I'm going to start with you in terms of this is a problem that most people just did not know about until now.
Yes, and I have a tip for people. If you have not established an online Social Security account, you should go ahead and do that right away. Because if you've not established an account, anybody can pretend to be you and establish an account in your name. This way, if you have it established, you'll know something's going on with your account.
Charles, but people are still concerned about security.
And well, they should be. I think what we need to admit to ourselves and to everyone is that security is chasing the hackers and the scammers that are out there. It doesn't get ahead of it. And we haven't been able to get ahead of it until we get ironclad security in place. Fingerprints for accessing your accounts, or recognition. Until we have those things in place for everyone, security's going to be a problem, and we're just going to have to be doubly careful.
But before I get to you, Terry, in terms of classes, there really does not seem to be any kind of alternative. I mean, there are fewer Social Security offices with fewer hours open. So for those people who would still prefer to go down there to get help, that's a lot harder, is it not?
Absolutely it is. We're going to have to make peace with this somehow. But I just think we need to redouble or triple our efforts for security.
And Terry, you provide an incredible service in teaching folks how to get online and what to do. If you could just tell people what kind of services that you have available.
Sure. So we're looking at it as technology. There are risks and rewards to it, and so you have to know how to use it, not fear it. So we have classes on basically the whole gamut: computers, phones, and tablets. So if they call up the Friendship Center, then they can get the schedule, find out, sign up, and really start addressing the issue. And we can't just cower and be afraid of it, because it is coming our way. So.
Okay. Before we go, we want to share with you some thoughts of our viewers are saying about a hot topic making the news: the return of parking meters to Sarasota. Oh boy. Sarasota City Commission gave approval yesterday to move ahead with plans to purchase new meters. More than 450 metered spaces would be added downtown to Sarasota, St. Armand Circle. And here's what some of our viewers are saying about the decision. Sherry Andrews writes, just how many times do we have to keep buying these meters? It seems like it was just a few years ago. They are in or they are out. Christopher Benauer writes, the meters will stop employees and residents from blocking spots all day. This will actually make parking better. They know the turnover of spaces. Think about it, people. And Sharon Litchfield writes, unbelievable. The city works so hard and spends so much money on downtown becoming the destination spot it is. Now they're going to drive businesses elsewhere. Well, if you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. I want to thank all our guests for being here tonight: Jerry Zivick, Terry McGannon, and Charles Alkire, who is the owner of a financial services company. When we return, we'll bring you up to date on what is making news at this hour.
It's time to upgrade your favorite news app. Now, ABC7's My Suncoast News app is better than ever with a dynamic brand new design that's faster and easier to use. Stay connected with new features that make it easy to submit photos, share stories on Facebook and Twitter, and save stories for reading at a later time. Download our free My Suncoast News app on your mobile device at your app store. ABC7's all-new My Suncoast News app. Just another way we're here for you. Powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life. On your TV, on your computer, on your camera, on your smartphone, on your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC7, your Suncoast News on Fire TV. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC7, your Suncoast News on the go.
At SWC Properties, we pride ourselves in providing to you the very best in customer satisfaction, and the secret's getting out. Maybe that's why so many people have chosen to list their homes with our friendly and qualified agents. After all, it only makes sense to list with a growing agency that markets in so many places. To list your home with SWC, give us a call at our Bradenton office and ask for Matthew Rands.
They took that stress and that tension when I was particularly feeling very bad after that nasty car accident, and it was such a relief to know that I didn't have to bear that burden alone, that I had help.
Our goal is to not